Man.
Once hailed as the golden icon of social media, Salt Bae has now become a figure of mockery. From the moment Lionel Messi brushed him off at the World Cup to the day security barred him from entering a Champions League after-party, the glittering image of a man once adored worldwide has crumbled into controversy and ridicule. Online, he's now a meme, a symbol of excess. In real life, the empire he built is collapsing. Out of 7 U.S. restaurants, 5 have already closed. In London, profits are down by more than 30%. Even his Beverly Hills flagship, once the crown jewel of his brand, shut its doors for good. Behind these headlines lie endless scandals, receipts more expensive than cars, employees describing the workplace as a cutthroat survival game, political choices that alienated entire markets. So the big question is, how did a 36-second viral salt sprinkle turn a humble butcher into a global celebrity and then drag him down so far? How did a man once courted by Beckham, DiCaprio, and Bruno Mars end up as the butt of internet jokes? Today, we'll reveal the full story. Not just the fragments you've seen in the press, but the entire picture. The money, the fame, the illusions, and the hidden costs of maintaining a glittering facade that was hollow inside. Looking at his downfall now, it almost feels inevitable. But to understand why the golden glow shattered, we have to rewind to where it all began. A small butcher shop in Istanbul. Back then, Nusret Gökçe was just a poor young man learning the rhythms of the knife and the flames. Then, in 2017, came the moment that changed everything. A 36-second video, the now famous salt sprinkle, racked up more than 16 million views in just days. Overnight, he went from a nobody to a global phenomenon. His Instagram exploded from 0 to millions of followers. Celebrities lined up at his table. David Beckham, Leonardo DiCaprio, Bruno Mars, even Cristiano Ronaldo, who guards his image more fiercely than anyone, posed with his golden steaks. But Salt Bae wasn't just serving food. He was selling moments. Every dinner was a performance, a gold-plated spectacle where the check could run as high as $140,000. For years, he was celebrated. But the very hunger for attention that fueled his rise soon became the reason for his fall. He began to believe fame could open every door, and that illusion came crashing down in December 2022 during the World Cup final. Moments after Argentina's victory, Salt Bae stormed the field, shoving himself into photos, grabbing at the trophy, chasing Messi for a picture. Messi's irritated glance said it all. His teammates avoided him. The world saw it as desperate clout chasing. Within hours, backlash erupted online. FIFA launched an investigation and promptly banned him from official events. Overnight, he went from a VIP guest at global spectacles to a persona non grata. That moment marked a turning point. The smiling man on the pitch, awkwardly forcing himself into the spotlight, symbolized the fading of his golden aura. And that wasn't the end. If anything, it was only the beginning. Without viral moments, what did he really have left? The fans, who once adored him, now mocked him. Celebrities distanced themselves. Former admirers compared him to a wedding crasher, desperate to steal the spotlight. Even football stars hinted that fame could never replace respect. And once doubt took hold, the cracks became impossible to ignore. Behind the glittering facade of his restaurants, ugly truths surfaced. Receipts as high as $140,000 for a dinner. Gold-plated steaks that added no taste, only Instagram appeal. Customers began to feel scammed, paying thousands for a fleeting illusion. Some even discovered they hadn't met the real Salt Bae at all, but lookalikes he hired to impersonate him. The memes wrote themselves, "That's not Salt Bae, that's Paprika Bae." And then came the voices from inside the kitchen. Former employees described a workplace like the Hunger Games, where anyone could be fired mid-shift. Allegations surfaced of withheld tips, grueling hours without overtime, and even confiscated passports. Meanwhile, reports of food safety violations and freezing dining rooms only deepened the sense of betrayal. The empire that gleamed with gold on the outside was rotting from within. Customers mocked his defense that quality is never expensive, with one person replying, "You're right, quality isn't expensive, but this is," and the financial damage quickly followed. By mid-2025, 5 out of 7 U.S. locations had shut down, including the Beverly Hills flagship. In London's ultra-wealthy Knightsbridge district, revenue dropped by 31%, proof that even the rich were turning away. But these cracks began forming long before the closures. Back in 2018, as Venezuela suffered one of the worst economic crises in modern history, with inflation in the millions, families starving, and bread lines stretching for hours, Salt Bae was filmed serving golden steaks to President Nicolas Maduro. The contrast was staggering. While ordinary people couldn't buy milk for their children, the president feasted on $1,000 cuts of meat, applauded by Salt Bae himself. That image scarred his reputation, and the wound never fully healed. To be fair, those who knew him before fame still recall his love for the craft, the rhythm of the knife, the precise flick of salt. That passion was real. But over time, it was swallowed by money and the stage lights. Every dish became more about the camera than the taste. Every appearance had to be a performance. And the man who once thrived on authenticity began overstepping boundaries, mistaking attention for adoration. Which brings us to June 2025. At a Champions League after-party, Salt Bae once again tried to enter the VIP area. But this time, there was no red carpet, no cameras rushing to him. Security blocked his path in front of the crowd. The video went viral within hours. He insisted he wasn't kicked out, only misinterpreted. But social media doesn't wait for explanations. Memes of him being turned away spread everywhere. This moment was symbolic. Fame no longer opened doors. Even the VIP rope now served as a barrier. International outlets from The Sun to news.com.au called it his most humiliating fall. Yet, the same media that once ran glossy photos of him with Beckham and Messi now showcased his rejection as proof of his decline. From being the man everyone wanted at their table, he was now the man left standing outside the party. The truth is, the empire was never built on food alone. It was built on a viral moment, one sprinkle of salt, and viral moments burn fast. Salt Bae is now a textbook case of what happens when fleeting fame isn't backed by lasting substance. The man who turned seasoning into spectacle has become the embodiment of empty viral, a spark that flared brightly, then burned out when the world moved on. And yet, behind the memes and headlines, he's still just a man, a poor butcher, who found his way to the world stage, only to be consumed by the halo he created. The final question lingers. Was Salt Bae truly a genius who seized an opportunity, or just a man trapped in a golden light of his own making? That answer, perhaps, depends on how each of us chooses to see him.